So now that you know the basics about what your time personality is, let's talk about each of the types again. If you are past-oriented, the good news is that means you're a stable person overall. You're rooted in your traditions and in your experience, and that's going to help you to survive the typical ups and downs that a writer tends to go through. Where you might have difficulty is imagining a future that is better than where you are right now or where you've been in the past. And that can be a big struggle. If you're trying to become a published author, you want to achieve a certain goal as a writer, it may be more difficult for you to be able to imagine yourself doing that because you've never done it before. This is a dream. This is about becoming something that you aren't right now. So as a past-oriented person, realize that that's going to be a bigger challenge to be able to imagine yourself as this accomplished writer. You may struggle more with self-doubt. This idea that I'm not there now, so how could I ever be there? I can't imagine that. Find a way to bring this image of yourself in the future to life. You need to create a visual of where you would be. Maybe you put your novel title and a picture of you at the bookstore and a few other pictures that have to do with your story into a collage and you frame it and you put it up. Maybe you look through the past, since you are past-oriented, and note your achievements along the way. Note how far you've come, how much better of a writer you are now than you were when you began. You can look at that and say, oh yeah, I have improved, so why wouldn't I continue to improve? Plan to do something this year in the future for your writing career. Realize that you tend to avoid that because that's about the future. You're focused more on what you've experienced in the past. Make an appointment with yourself to sign up for a workshop, writer's conference, writer's retreat, something that's going to happen in the future that's going to force you to prepare for that time, that's going to force you to improve your writing, to get a piece of writing ready perhaps for submitting maybe to a future contest. Plan something that's going to happen in the future this year, not too far in the future, that's going to help motivate you and compel you to keep working toward that future version of yourself as a writer. If you are present-oriented, here's the good news for you. You find it very easy to enjoy writing for writing's sake because you're writing today and you like to do what is fun to do in the moment. You're going to write because you enjoy it. You're not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past. You're just enjoying the writing in the moment. And that's an awesome thing. There's a lot of writers who wish they could achieve that. Where you're going to struggle is taking that next step in your writing career. You're going to have trouble planning for where you need to be in the future, submitting your work to editors, agents, publishers, so that sometime in the future you may have a book on the market, or planning how you're going to self-publish this book and what steps you're going to need to take so that you can make that happen. First of all, make finishing your projects just as important as having fun doing them. You may struggle with this finishing. You may struggle with procrastination because you're really focused on having fun in the moment. And if writing stops being fun for you in the moment, that's going to be a bigger struggle for you than it might be for the other two types. You need to really focus on sticking with it, finishing the story, even on those days when it's not fun, finding a way to write anyway, finding a way to get some help so that you can get over any problem spots that you may be experiencing. Focus on creating a step-by-step plan for your writing career, and that's going to rub you the wrong way, I imagine. Try to maybe sit down with a friend who's really good at organizing and kind of just create a step-by-step where you want to be. Decide when you're going to submit it, when you're going to research publishers, create a plan that you post to the refrigerator or somewhere you can see it, and then follow through on that plan. You'll be more likely to get where you want to be. if you're future oriented. The good news is you're not going to have any problems with planning. That's going to be easy for you. You're going to be someone who's always working toward those dreams that you have, and you're going to have no problem toiling away for years until your efforts start to show some fruit. It's easier for you to realize that you're putting in the time now for who you're going to be in the future. Where you're going to struggle is with things like burnout. People who are future-oriented tend to get burned out more often. We're so busy planning for the future, what we're going to do tomorrow, that we fail to live for today, and pretty soon we find ourselves just exhausted and tapped out. We have no more creativity, the muse has left, and we can no longer do all these things to plan for our future that we want to do. First, take time off more than you think you should. I personally am a future-oriented person. This is really hard for me. Every time I take a day off, I feel guilty about it. I should be working, I should be getting stuff done. But then a few days later, when I go back to working, I'm always amazed at how much it helps, how much faster I am, how much more efficient I am, because I've restored myself. And it's silly. I don't know why I have to go through this every time, but future-oriented people, we tend to struggle with this. So take time off more often than you think you should. Take the time and go do something you really enjoy. Certainly you need a yearly retreat where you can de-stress and let everything go and invite the muse to come back and visit with you again. Step back and live in the moment, particularly for your relationships. For future-oriented people, your relationships may suffer if you're so busy planning for the future that your family is doing all this stuff today and you're just not even seeing it or noticing it, and they start to feel neglected for that reason. So make sure that you're taking more time off than you think you should, that you're regularly restoring yourself, and that you're now and then taking a step back and saying, okay, today I'm just going to live in the moment. The future will take care of itself. So I hope that was helpful for you. I would also recommend my award-winning book, Overwhelmed Writer Rescue. I talk a lot more about time personality in there. I delve deeper into this idea of time perception and also into things like peak creative times, clock timers versus event timers, and other things that can really help you with your time management and productivity. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you're sure not to miss the next one.